Michelle Thielen. Alrighty, well, she is our host today, and she is a certified yoga therapist, keynote speaker, author of Stretching Your Faith and Exit Wilderness, a roadmap out of depression and hopelessness. She has been teaching somatic movement through dance and yoga for over 25 years and led over 200 yoga teacher trainings, and is passionate about helping the world live a life of purpose. We're so excited to have you, Michelle, on today's webinar. Just a reminder, don't forget to utilize the chat for audience questions, and we'll be sure to monitor that and take a look, answer as many as we can. But with that, Michelle, take it away.
Thank you, Lizzie. So great to be here with you. Thank you for having me. I'm just going to pull up a PowerPoint so that you know why we're here, what we're doing. Again, just want to thank beYogi for having me. I'm excited to share this information with you. And I want to talk to every person as if you've never taken yoga before, as well as you advanced practitioners out there. I know we have people from all kinds of backgrounds, experiences, and walks of life. So if some of this is elementary, bear with me. It's always good to review. If you know about trauma or complex trauma, or if you've been through your own journey of depression and grief or anxiety, some of this might be review, but again, I hope that you learn something new today through my experience, through my pain becoming my purpose, part of my purpose. So this is just who I am. I wanted to bring this up because Exit Wilderness is one of our giveaways. So you want to stay till the very end today. It's a gift set. And even though you can get this anywhere where books are sold, I only have a dozen gift sets left. So I thank you for introducing me, Lizzie. So I don't want to park here too long, but this is just me. If I had some bullet points, here they are. I'm also very heavily involved with anti-trafficking and using this information for those victims. I work with very young victims, anywhere from 4 to 13 years old. So what I'm talking about today has a lot to do with deep healing. And so I also love to write, as you can see. So I want to cover a little bit about why we're learning what we're learning today, and a little bit of where and how, and hopefully so you can start to know where this is located, and most importantly, how to release some stuff. The mighty psoas, also known as the muscle of the soul. You might be familiar with it, you might not, but I wanted to show you this because it's so important. It's involved in absolutely every single thing that we do, because it connects our upper and lower half. So it's short for the iliopsoas. We could just call it the psoas. And look at the things that it's called. It's called a trap, a storage unit, a garbage dump, all of this stuff. So it doesn't have to be this big, deep, complex trauma or PTSD. It can be the things that you suppress. Maybe it's something that you want to say and you never do, or perhaps even since you were a child, you've been told not to say things, and all these things just keep getting suppressed. And this compound suppression goes somewhere. And that somewhere is in our core. It is in our psoas. It's in this pelvis that you'll see throughout my slides here. Because this is just where the junk goes, whether we are conscious of it or it's just in our subconscious. We've known it as the fight, flight, and freeze, and you may have heard that term, but what this does is this entire area freezes up. And so whether, again, going back to this trauma, depression, grief, anxiety, or just this compound suppression, our body has a natural ability to react towards dangerous situations. That could be a car accident, it could be something really severe, and it could be the last 3 years of isolation and a global pandemic. And I don't want to give too much energy to that, but a lot of it has caused us to live in a constant state of all of these things we're talking about: fear, anxiety, depression, grief. I just want to say, just Google has had 3 million searches for the word hope. So I think the last few years has caused us to be hopeless. And part of my book title is Hopelessness. As Lizzie said, it's a roadmap out of depression and hopelessness, because we're feeling this heaviness, we're feeling this hopelessness. And so what I want to experience today, later on our mat, is this relaxation response. And if you read my article, Rest and Digest for the Nervous System on beYogi, this is sort of a continuation of that. And if you haven't read it, I encourage you to do so, because I really go into this relaxation response, like how we want to feel. So in that article, I say, imagine eating your favorite meal, You're satiated, you crawl up on your favorite lazy boy, you got your blanket, your cat or your dog is on your lap. Not my dog, because they're 100 pounds, but you're just getting into that comfortable, you kick up your feet and you are feeling good. This is your happy place. Okay, this is the feeling that I want you to imagine your body having at any time. And you can actually revert back to that image, that feeling, those sensations at any time. So wherever your happy place is, that's how I want you to feel. That's the rest and digest, also known as relaxation response. So that's where we're going today. Sound good? I already said this, like this is absolutely everything we do is in our core, right? We can think of this so as it's a core muscle, it's a hip muscle, it's a back muscle. So it's just related to everything. It involves absolutely everything. So it's really vital that we have a healthy pelvis, a healthy psoas. And I say it's vital to strengthen, stretch, and lengthen these muscles to awaken and release, as well as prevent future injuries and soul wounds. This is called the muscle of the soul for a reason. So we want to detach from these soul wounds and prevent future ones. Yeah, this is kind of where it's located. If you're not familiar with the location, again, it's the largest muscle connecting our upper and lower half. You can see it connects to the thoracic spine, the T12, and then from the L1 to the L5, and then it attaches all the way down into our femur. And it is just so large. You can see how it has to do with back pain, hip pain, hip joints. It crosses over and stabilizes our lower half. So when we have that fight or flight or freeze, or we're living in this constant state of shoulders next to our ears, this is why, because it's contracting, it's shrinking. If you sit for long periods of time, or you're a traveling yogi like me, and educated, writing curriculum all the time, do a lot of sitting. So sitting is the new smoking, right? So we have to counteract that. It's the antidote to this new sitting is the new smoking, yeah? So this is the URL here for the article in beYogi. You'll also see this image there because it really is the command center. I talk about the central nervous system, which is our brain, and our spinal cord. This is, if you think of the spinal cord as a highway, it literally is a highway. It's taking those responses and emotions and feelings, and it's telling the body how to react. And so again, we have this natural reaction, but we also have the ability, the innate ability to deal with it, to maintain it, to use some of our yoga practices, not just asana, not just postures, but our pranayama, our breathing techniques to come down. So I say it's a major hip muscle, but it's also a major leg muscle and low back specifically, but a back muscle. So it's hip, back, core, it's all of it. So this increased oxygen and blood flow, which by the way, there's all these branches of blood flow coming from our heart, but then branches out. So that's our blood supply. So you can imagine when you get this fear or perceived fear, how the body reacts, right? And there's all kinds of things that happens to our systems, all of our systems. And so as with any movement, it begins with the brain telling the body what to do, and then the muscles, which muscles to recruit. So our spinal cord is the highway, and it's delivering the message. This is the amygdala right here. And look where it is. It's by our ear. So we receive We receive the danger, the perceived danger. And then the hypothalamus goes and, this is the command center, tells the body and the muscles what to do. And again, we have this ability to calm our system, to get into that relaxation mode by all means necessary. So fight, flight, freeze, this is really where it comes in the case of fighting. The brain signals the muscles and everything contracts, right? And then in the flight, again, to flee, the muscles involved in rising up and running away are activated. And this mostly involves the psoas. And then freeze. The psoas is the stabilizer, right? Connecting both our upper and lower halves, and it contracts. It's stabilizing our body where we can't move. Now, I've never been in a situation where I'm walking in a forest and a tiger or a bear presents itself, but I'm not sure if I could run. I'm not sure if I would freeze, right? I don't know what I would do, right? We've seen the animal videos of animals being caught, pretending they're dead, total stillness. And then all of a sudden they begin to breathe rapidly, right? Because they're releasing. And so we could take a lesson from our animal friends. And so what I want to say is this constant contraction is where we're at. And again, this could be just from the last few years. And it's not it's big, the last few years, right? This constant contraction of our muscles. So I'm going to go through these slides a little bit quickly because we are going to get on our mat. I do want to have you experience or at least provide the opportunity for you to experience or to practice on your own. This is a workshop, so we're not going to be flowing in a vinyasa class or anything like that. There will be a little bit of a flow, but these slides, when you get them after our call, I really want you to practice what we learned today on the mat on your own. I want you to hold the postures. I want you to feel the postures. I want you to release and experience a little bit deeper and a little bit longer than what we're allocated here today. Sound good? So this is sort of the regions. And again, I'm just talking to you as if you don't know this information. You don't know about the heart or the throat chakra or any mudras, right? This is just where our anxiety can lie: the shoulder, the neck, jaw, face, and head. So we can think of releasing maybe in a lion's breath, which is opening up the mouth and sticking out the tongue and releasing completely, right? So there's things that we can do. We got the neck rolls and the shoulder rolls and all this stuff to move the shoulders away from the ears, because we do live in a constant state of contraction. So freedom from depression. Depression generally typically lies in the heart, the throat, the torso, kind of the upper region, right? And these can kind of intermingle, depression and grief, right? Because our heart gets broken, we have loss. One thing that has come is depression is a stage of grief, so they definitely intermingle. But when we talk about the psoas, we think of the heavy traumas, which they are, but it doesn't have to be heaviness. It can just be from stuff. Daily stuff, could be a relationship, could be a marriage, could just be stuff, right? So freedom from grief, this lies in our mighty psoas, our hip region, groin, and pelvis, but also can be in the heart center. So there's not like one all be all if you're feeling like your heart's broken or offended, or you have unforgiveness, or, you know, it's just hard to live when we get jaded or broken. So moving on to the actual movement. Again, we won't be exploring these in depth today. It's just an introduction. It's just a workshop. I encourage you to take this onto your mat for longer periods of time. So face yoga, box breathing, noticing what feels good and what doesn't. Sometimes with anxiety, different pranayamas work better, or some can be triggering. Holding the breath can be triggering for someone with chronic anxiety, or it could be very therapeutic. Just try and explore. Explore is my favorite cue. And I just give you a little flow. I call these freedom flows. Freedom from depression. Again, you see the lion's breath. I would say 20, not 15. Do this 20 times. It's like, get it out till you can't talk anymore, till your throat hurts, till you're crying and weeping. Just get that stuff out. Stick out the tongue, just get it out, all the stuff. And then I just go into some heart openers, making sure that we're opening that heart. This, even post-surgery for all kinds of things, this can be really good just to open back up. So lots of things with the heart openers. Freedom from grief, shaking all the limbs. So I just say, turn on your favorite music and shake every limb, shake your head, shake it out, shake it off. Move it out, not towards you, but away from you. Shake it off, literally. Turn your shaking into dancing. Seated pigeon, any pigeon. You can do this on a chair. I have a strap here, but you can also do pigeon in a chair or a figure 4, but really getting into the hip area as well as the hip flexor, the quadriceps. These are just different levels of pigeon, but this is really getting into the entire core here. If you're able to do the splits, that front leg's extended, you can't see it, but I also have a block here. So just whatever your level is, whether it's a chair, a strap, but want to introduce you to meridians as well. This kind of comes from Chinese medicine, but we all know that we have energy points in our body. So pigeon is stimulating some really important meridians when we talk about grief, living in the liver and the gallbladder. So it's called swan in yin. So yin yoga, we hold the postures 3 to 5 minutes, or 20 minutes if you're an advanced yin practitioner, but really getting into those meridians and really releasing some deep stuff into connective tissue. So going beyond the big, large, superficial muscles and getting into the connective tissue. It stimulates those meridians while awakening and stretching the psoas. So I won't park here too long. Just want to let you know we have a lot of meridians and energy lines. We have a lot of ways to stimulate them and awaken them as well, but we're not here to awaken meridians necessarily, but you can see there are some points. You see the energy lines go to the fingertips. There are some points that if you are dealing with depression or grief, some of these overlap. This is more of a deep depression. The heart has to do with the pinky. And then we see some sadness and hopelessness and depression with this ring finger and grief. We also have stress, worry, and tension with our stomach and spleen energy line. You can see nervousness, anxiety. So, I was looking at this and thinking the thumb, the ring finger, and the pinky. My 2 peace fingers are left. Just food for thought. All right, getting into awakening. So again, these are going to overlap a little. It's just important that we locate where our psoas is. I want you to feel that. So this is what we're going to do on our mat. We're going to workshop just a few of these. You're going to feel it. You're going to experience it, locate it, learn how to release it. And then you're pinky promising right now that you're going to go do this on your own longer in your own time, where you can just really just check out and be alone. So if you were to just stand, you can do it right now. Stand and resist your knee coming up. You don't have to full force it here, but pressing the thigh or releasing the knee as I have it, that contraction, that isometric contraction will help you locate your psoas. So we're just locating it, and then we can actually awaken it once we locate it, right? So, and I say that once you learn to isolate and engage the psoas, you can practice this in any form. So with side angle, I could resist my thigh here, and there's this counterintuitive, my arm is going down, my thigh is coming up. With side angle or triangle, you see a shortening on one side, a lengthening on the other. So the pelvis is rotating as it tilts back and tilts forward on that shortened side. So again, just drawing attention, awakening it. This is just a reminder for you as we go today, as you go on your own, to honor your body, to honor the journey. I have a very stable chair. I am shorter in stature, so I love to use blocks under my feet when I'm on the edge of a chair. I keep a nice tall spine that way. If I didn't have the blocks, I would kind of slouch a little bit. So those help me. And then you can't see the wall, but I'm leaning on a wall. So again, using any props that you need. Balancing and stabilization of the psoas is really important. Again, this stabilizes our lower half. It is this large muscle connecting our upper to lower half. And when we contract the back of the leg and the glutes, and you're going to experience this here in a moment, we can feel the contraction, but then the beauty of it, getting into that rest and digest, is to relax it. So we contract it, whether it's the glute, the hamstring, the quadricep, whatever that is, and then we release it. And you can do that in any form. You can even do it in Shavasana. This is just a continuation of balancing and stabilizing. Warrior 2 is an opening of the core, right? An opening of the heart as well. That can be really difficult. Humble warrior, I've added that shoulder rinse with the humble warrior is a beautiful thing. Half moon and revolved half moon. You can do these on a chair and a wall. Oh, look, here they are right here. And look at my smile. I'm so happy doing half moon. For most of you, you know, that's a challenging posture. Half moon just opens, but you're also balancing, you're strengthening that foundational leg and really opening up this really vulnerable area in our body. Intense side stretch, just again, making sure that we kind of hit the front body, the back body, and the side bodies. When it comes to engaging and strengthening, this is also overlapping with stretching, especially when you add props as I have down here. This is just, I'm on an ottoman. It's actually a stool with a blanket, but you can use a nice soft ottoman. There's a lengthening and a strengthening. So you also get stretching when it's more relaxed like that. With some of these, the upward tabletop, I could have bridge in here, upward plank, wheel, a wheel variation. This is all really strengthening your psoas. If you think of wheel or tabletop and upward plank, if you're coming down and you're lifting back up those hips, this is really strengthening, really engaging, and super, super stabilizing. So, and I just encourage you to use different props for different engagements. I'm against a wall with blocks, feeling really stable. So I could really just let the bottom half, lower half open and release. You can also put the blocks underneath the feet in wheel as opposed to the hands. So again, just honoring your body and your journey, just giving you some options here. I'm going to fly through these next few slides, continuing on with stretching with and without contraction. This is what we're going to experience today. If I were to contract this glute and release it, I could really strengthen and stretch, of course, the psoas. Again, contracting. I add this back bend. This is beautiful. I have a foam block here. Never put a hard block on your joints. And I'm opening my heart. I'm revolving it. And I'm just using a different level of a prop, which is a padded inversion bench. So that feels very good. Holding and releasing. I love to do that in any yoga class. Some more on stretching. I just say, be sure to stretch on all sides. Lateral flexion. Our psoas is really important, and it helps us with that lateral flexion. It is flexing our spine, whether it's to the side, to the front, to the back. It is all psoas here. So I love to grab, we have a half wall on our staircase. I love to grab that half wall and just lean over and really get into my psoas. Back bends, don't forget about the front. So we're just getting this at all angles. Reverse warrior, do this in a chair if you need to. Standing forward fold, and bird of paradise and bird of paradise. Once you really open and release this, some of these forms might be a lot more accessible to you. And I say stretching with a contraction in one leg engages and activates one side while relaxing and releasing the other side for a balanced and harmonious pelvis region. Happy psoas, happy soul, right? How to end. So we're not going to explore these forms today, but I want to invite you, as you start to notice this region and open and release and awaken and strengthen and stabilize, that just explore what you might be able to achieve after that, whether it be an arm balance, whether it be a really totally relaxing, restorative posture. How many of us get in this and we're like, oh gosh, I have so much to do. No, when your psoas is relaxed, you can relax because you are reaching that rest and digest. Remember, lazy boy, feet up, cat on lap. Try an inversion. Use a prop if you need to. Scorpion is a really wonderful stretch on that front side of the psoas and femur, quadricep. Wild thing, pressing it back up because it's just hopefully released and open, and then reclining hero, stretching it a little bit more. Your psoas should feel like this psoas on the promo that you saw when you signed up, right? It should feel light and easy and beautiful the way that it should be. Never skip Shavasana. This is me in a side Shavasana with a pillow and a blanket under my head. So my cervical spine is supported. My hips are aligned. You could also just place the feet on a chair or ottoman so your feet are up. That's a very lovely Shavasana. So I want to thank you, Lizzie, beYogi. We're going to go onto the mat. I'm going to go up to my mat as well. But I want to encourage you to stay to the end because this is your gift. I mentioned the Exit Wilderness gift set. My mom's on the call. Hi, Mom. Shout out to Mom. She's going to be sending you that. So that's only for the live call today. That will be announced at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today. You can get it wherever books are sold, but not the gift set. So I'm happy to gift that. That is my journey out of depression and hopelessness. And then open to all live and recording listeners is the retreat plans. And I'm going to give you the code at the very end so you can enjoy my favorite vegan plants. And this is to nourish every part of your body, keeping your pelvis healthy. This came from yoga therapy and just the prevention and reverse of disease through plant-based recipes. So those are my favorites. I'm happy to give that away. Can't wait. But yes, let's go meet on the mat.
And while Michelle is getting ready, she's walking up to her studio, I will just reiterate that the giveaway for the Exit Wilderness gift set will be announced later today. You will be notified via email. So we won't be picking the winner during this live portion, just so we can easily randomly select the winner from the live attendees. So if you were watching this at a different time, watching the recording, unfortunately, you were not counted in the giveaway, but that just means come next time. So Michelle's walking up to her studio and we're going to walk through some yoga and walk through some of the things that she was teaching during the live kind of workshop section. So definitely stay tuned. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat. I know you are also trying to get ready for that movement as well. So, I see a few questions that come in. Are we going to get a copy of the slides? Yes, you will be sent the recording and the copy of the slides, and then also information to connect with Michelle and some of the offerings we mentioned already in an email tomorrow, and that'll come from me directly. And then another question came in. Is there a difference between hip flexors and the psoas? So Michelle, whenever you are set and ready and you wanted to answer that question real quick, feel free. We can also answer that post-webinar.
Hello and welcome back. I want to invite you to grab soft blocks. Remember to not put a hard block on your joint. So that's what that is for. And whatever else you like to practice with. Looks like everyone's on their mats. Yes. So if you need a chair, whatever you need to practice with. If you do use a chair, I want to say, make sure that it is stable. You can do some of these on a piece of furniture, no problem. Just make sure that you're not slipping. Yeah. So we can actually start in a lunge position because I want you to feel that contraction, that isometric contraction. So we'll get into either low lunge on your mat, low lunge, foam block under the knee, or feel free to be up here. So we'll be here for several moments. And what I want you to do when you're in your low lunge or whatever lunge you're in, maybe it's a standing with a chair, is that you would find that place of where your body says, okay, I can feel that. So that might mean that your knee might go a little bit over the ankle as I'm moving forward. I'm short, so I usually don't have that problem, but you might have longer leg bones than I do. So it's more about opening, and the hip flexor is a part of the psoas region. It's that front side. So again, finding where you're like, okay, this is my edge. And holding that and breathing. So taking a breath in through the nose and trying to exhale either through the nose or the mouth, whatever's available, but making it very lengthy and long. So now that you've gotten to your lunge, I want you to engage the glute, engaging it, contract it, isometric contraction here, and then release it. Let's try that again. Contract it, hold, breathe, holding the muscle, not the breath, and release. Again, contract. Contract and hold, and release. Let's do it one more time. Contract, hold, release. Whew. Nice job. We're going to switch sides. So if you need to release or do a little hamstring or a little cat-cow, again, this isn't a flow. This is more of a workshop just for you to learn some of these things to do on your own. And you might notice one side is more open than the other. That's completely normal. Like you're like, oh, I can't go very far. Finding that place where your pelvis region is saying, that's where I'm going to stop today. And breathing. Long inhale, long exhale, and we're going to contract and hold, not the breath, and relax, release. Contract and hold, relax, release. Again. Release. One last time. Release. And you can go ahead and release that leg. Maybe do a couple cat-cows or sway the hips from side to side. Just adding or inviting a little bit of movement here. So come back to your original leg that we started on. And in your low lunge, I want you to go ahead and add a little back bend. So it doesn't have to be major, just so you can feel that front side of the psoas. And yes, the hip flexor, maybe you notice that glute now that we have that isometric contraction, but I encourage you to just relax it right now. We're not contracting it. So you're adding your back bend, your heart opener, same difference. Heart opener, back bend. Back bends open our heart. So if we remember, this is where our sadness can lie. This is where our depression can lie. I'm going to invite you to go ahead and switch sides. Now, a while back, I lost two very close people They were once close, add your heart opener. And I had soul ties with both of them. One was a first love, one was an ex-husband. So soul ties. Well, one passed away and my psoas locked up where I couldn't walk very well. And the other passed away a couple months later and my other side locked up and I really couldn't walk. And so this journey of pain becoming purpose has been my new life work of you healing that grief, healing depression, healing any anxiety, and gently release that in any way. So we're going to make our way into a warrior set, so you can down dog if that feels okay. We didn't talk much about three-legged dog, but this is great. Falling back into our wild thing, lifting and strengthening. You can strengthen by adding those strength moves. But let's just take the right foot forward into a warrior one position. I will just mirror you here. So warrior one. Now, a lot of yoga teachers say square the hips or whatever they might say. I just say the hips towards your front. It's not actually healthy to try to square those hips, but it is healthy to have both hips facing or moving toward your front. This torquing of the pelvis is not healthy. So wherever your warrior one is, breathing. So here I invite you to contract the back leg. We'll just do this a couple times. We won't do it 4 times, and then relax. Contract, relax. Opening up to warrior 2. Now you could flow here, of course, from our side angle. Nothing changes in your lower half as you stabilize the psoas muscle and your torso moves as one unit here. So this is a really great flow to add. And let's do our warrior one on the other side. So hips could be diagonal. Honestly, they could be more like a warrior 2 with some of our anatomy, but definitely don't try to square. If you can, with keeping all 4 corners of that back foot, then that's great. Otherwise, wherever it lands, wherever it organically lands. So warrior one can be here. You do not have to raise the arms. Stabilizing. Now, feel that isometric contraction just a couple times in that back glute. Contract. So we're strengthening the psoas here. Relax. Contract. Relax. Beautiful. Moving into opening up this core region. And then, of course, you can add without moving the lower half because you're stabilizing it and balancing it. And you can also add that reverse warrior when you come play with this on your own time. Remember, you pinky promised me opening here. And both feet face forward, pressing the tailbone back, lengthen spine, and come into either a half forward fold, great place for a block, or if you're ready, coming into a little bit deeper, so we're stretching the back side of the body. So other opening postures are going to be really good for strengthening and stretching. Okay, just wanted to give you something that's not on the slides, and that is a little bit of somatic flexibility, which will, this particular one will release the psoas a little bit more. So a good thing to do is take the soles of the feet together and let your knees come down as they would naturally. Just kind of scope it out here. See the space. Okay, now what I want you to do is grab a block, foam or cork, and lift it to bridge while squeezing the block for 10, 9, keep squeezing, 8, 7, keep lifting, 5, 4, 3, 2, Keep the hips up, just release the block for 10, 9, it's slow, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release the hips, bring the knees into your chest. And we're going to do that again. Block in between the thighs, lift the hips. Inhale, squeeze, squeezing block for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, keep squeezing, 5, 4, 3, 2, keep squeezing, now release, 10, 9, 8, it's slower than you want to go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, gently release, knees to chest, and this is our last time. You're going to love how your psoas releases. All right, last time, make it count here, squeezing block, lifting hips, squeeze, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, keep squeezing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release the block for 10, not the hips, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release down, bring the knees to your chest, keep the sacrum down, and gently coming up, soles of the feet together, and check, check, feel, notice. If you don't notice anything, that's okay too. But I'm hoping that you feel stronger, more stabilized, more released, and more relaxed. From a comfortable seated position, or you can stay in that seated angle, placing hands like you're about to break out of a chain. Oh, because you are. Okay, some pranayama here. Inhaling, exhaling. Keep doing this. I want you to do this anytime that any sadness or hopelessness or any of those crazy thoughts, any of the cray-cray thoughts enter into your head. Not today. Not today. Get rid of it. Another pranayama. Any thought, grab it, release it. Grab it like you want it, release it like you need to. Grab it, and make sure if you're only doing one hand that you would do the other hand, or you're doing both. Couple more times. Getting rid of it. Getting rid of it. And now just shake it out. Just shake it out. Just shake it out. Move it out. Move it out. Move the head. Whatever you need to do. You can even dance around today after you turn this off. Both hands on your heart. Closing the eyes or just finding a soft gaze. Noticing your heart. Noticing your breath. Noticing any differences if there is any. Feeling sensation. Is there any energy? If any of you are like me, there was a time in my life that I tried to take my own life. So now when I feel this heartbeat, when I hear the things of my heart, I'm incredibly grateful to actually be here with you. Continue to notice, continue to breathe. Your breath is available to you 24/7. So whichever technique works for you, it doesn't have to be a pranayama technique. Just find your breath, connect to it, connect to heartbeat, connect to life and those that are in your life. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate your time, your energy, your Psoas. I appreciate your Psoas being with me. And I just encourage you to do this deep work of release, because you can't conquer something that you don't confront. So you have to confront it. And I know it's painful. I know it's hard, but the sooner you confront it, the happier you're going to get, the happier your soul will be healed. And of course, those around you will be happier as well. So just appreciate you. Thank you again, beYogi, for allowing me to be a part of your tribe. And thank you to everyone who's still here listening on the live. We promised you a retreat plant code. So it is just beYogi 2022. That's available to anyone here today or listening after. So beYogi 2022. And you can find that at yogafaith.org in the store. So thank you. Thank you, Lizzie.